Teteru. If the Eorzean Alliance can be restored to its former glory, so can the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Let's find our lost friends and begin anew. Alphanod. After long years of estrangement, Ishgard rejoined her sister nations in the Alliance. Words cannot well express my joy. None of this would have been possible without you, my friend. Change is coming to Eorzea, though it will inevitably bring with it a measure of upheaval. With hard work, peace and prosperity are sure to follow. And yet, even as we look forward to the coming of a new age, we must needs be wary of old threats. The lords of Garlemald have not relinquished their claim upon Eorzea, and we shall be forced to contend with them again, ere long. And then there is the matter of our comrade Estenine, claimed body and soul by Nidhogg. If there is a way to rescue him, we must find it. Suffice it to say, the path ahead holds no shortage of challenges, but together we shall overcome them. Sky Pirates. Unquiet Trader. Ah, you have the look of a lass who's seen her fair share of troubles. Mayhap you'd be willing to help me with mine. I need a capable sort to head into the Sea of Clouds and track down my missing airship. I had to mortgage my soul to get that vessel built, so winning the contract to ferry supplies out to Cloudtop was a real weight off my mind. But it seems my luck ended there. My ship was due back in Ishgard bells ago, and I've been praying for a glimpse of her sails ever since. I can't help fearing the worst. What if she's run afoul of sky pirates? My creditors will have their ponds of flesh. You think me foolish to fear piracy so far above the waves? Well, let me tell you that no honest merchant is safe now that airship production has, if you'll excuse the pun, taken off. Any scoundrel with a sack of coin and a vague sense of direction can terrorize the skies. Oh yes, this new breed of buccaneers likes to paint themselves as dashing explorers, braving the unknown. But the truth of their nature is right there in the name. Sky Pirates. Given half a chance, they'll strip your ship of every last scrap of cargo and cry, "Yar har!" as they launch you screaming over the rails. I've heard the stories. Please, you must make haste to the Camp Cloudtop. That's where the shipment was bound, and inquire as to the fate of my poor ship. Oh, and my poor helmsman. Ask, Ron Tremont. He'll know if any man does. Retromont. A supply airship has gone missing, you say? Well, that would certainly explain why our provisions are so late in arriving. I did in fact spy a vessel charting an erratic course northwards a short while ago, but as it seemed disinclined to make port here, I paid it little mind. Not the most compelling piece of evidence, I grant you, but I have witnessed naught else of interest. I suggest you investigate the landmass to the north. Rest assured, I will send word if I spy any other sign of our errant supply ship. Cargo ship helmsman. He is very, very scared. Aid! Aid, I say! These villains mean to plunder my cargo! Oh, he's got an orc dude. Let's see, Sky Pirate. Ooh, what have we got here, then? Think you're some sort of hero, do you? I'm like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. Pirates are looking over the cargo, then walk over to me. Well then, you won't mind if me mates here join the fun. Make for a more heroical tale, won't it? The tale of how 3 sky pirates fed a meddling little shite her own bloody eyes. You can try it. It's not gonna work. They look up in surprise. A ship flies overhead, very close, almost takes his head off. Whose ship is that? What the? Oh gods! I know that ship! It's... Who's that? The guy jumps out of the ship. Or girl, maybe, I don't know. Question mark. It looks like a guy. Yeah, looks like a guy. It's a dark-skinned guy with short black hair. He's got some sideburns going on. And he's got red goggles with kind of loose-ish black, like, cloth clothing. Question mark. So, you're the scrags who've been dragging our good name through the mud. See the Pirate King? The ogre's not looking happy. Sky Pirate, you're Red Bill Leofard. We ain't done naught to you or yours. What do you want with us? Red Bill smiles and walks forward casually. Oh, so casually as the others back away with fear. This guy's apparently a Chad. Leofard, I think I've made my position pretty clear. You take on the mantle of Sky Pirate. You agree to a certain code of conduct. And codes aren't worth much if folk go around breaking them. Frankly, lads, you're making us look bad. And we can't have that. No hard feelings, though, eh? Oh, he took out his gun and shot all 3 of them. And they be dead. How come I can't do that? Well, I looks quite shocked. Cargo ship helmsman. Oh, thank you, Mr. Leofard. Thank you. I'm certain my master will wish to repay you. Leofard shrugs. If your employer does business in Ishgard, he likely knows a merchant or two what trades with me associates. Tell him to say it's for Leofard, and reward should reach me soon enough. The cargo guy nods and runs off. Leofard walks over to me. As for you, adventurer, tain't often someone beats me to the scene. But then I'd expect not less from a hero such as yourself, Suicune. That is who you are, ain't it? I don't know too many other lasses with one of them marvelous mana cutters the Ironworks dreamed up. I nod, stoically. Well then, it seems you've saved me the trouble of tracking you down. I've been hoping to have a word with you, you see. I look confused. I'll put it to you straight. I need someone to help out with a little venture I have in mind. Someone used to taking a few risks. Now, this wouldn't be no black-hearted brigand's work, so don't go worrying yourself on that account. Unlike them thieving curs just now, I don't hold with robbing honest folk. For me, you see, the Sky Pirate's life is all about freedom. The freedom to go where you will, to find out what lies beyond the next cloud. If you're interested in joining us on an adventure worthy of the name, then look for me standard in the northern reaches of the Blue Window. Someone will be waiting there to greet you. He walks off. And flies away. Just so you know, this is not part of the main story as far as I know. I think my friend said there's like a vague connection between this and the main story. This is a side thing, kind of like the Crystal Tower. Stacia. That's far enough, stranger. If you value your life, tell me true. Did you stumble across this marker by chance, or are you here by invitation? Are you here by invitation? Yes. Then that would make you the hero the captain said to watch out for. Well met. The name's Stacia. Leofard would call me his right-hand woman, but I feel more like his bloody nursemaid, God's truth be told. And anyway, my thanks to you for coming to hear him out. If you'd follow me, I'll take you to the Red Bill's nest. I'm flying the ship. I guess I'm following her. I think it's a single-person ship. We're approaching a little island village. Ships are around, flying everywhere. That was the first good look I got of Stacia. She's got medium-length white hair tied in a ponytail in the back. She's wearing a sleeveless black vest. She motions to me to be quiet. Question mark. I come to you in person and still you refuse my offer? Arrogant fool. See someone... Oh, you see Leofard sitting in a chair with his feet up on his desk. On the subject of arrogance, Radleia, I bow to your superior knowledge. But that is all the bowing you'll get from me. As I've told you a dozen times before, I ain't no one's lackey. Oh, it's a chick. She basically kind of looks like this quintessential pirate lady. I mean, she's dressed in a kind of flashy outfit. She's got even an eye patch, like a red eye patch over her right eye. She's got some, like blue eyeliner on. She's got painted red lips. She's got, her outfit is basically red and kind of flowing a bit while being risque. Radleia. But my dear Leofard, how else do you propose to survive an expedition into the ghost ship? I would fear for my life with naught but your feeble crewmates at my back. Yeah, Leofard looks uninterested. Well, I'd fear for my life with your mangy crew at my back, on account of 'em being murderous, untrustworthy bastards to a man. She did not like that. She looked pissed. Redalia. I thought you cleverer than this, Red Bill. But no matter, I always get what I want in the end. 'Tis merely a question of method. Oh. She bursts through the doors and sees us, and then especially me. Radlia. Now there's a face I've not seen before. You don't have the look of one of Leofard's little birds. No, I'm not his prostitute, thanks. Stacia crosses her arms. She's a guest. You understand the concept, don't you? You know, when someone's invited instead of just bursting through the door whenever she damn well pleases. She's got a smug little smirk on her face. Radlia just kind of like, huh, bitch, and then walks off. Stacia. That was Radlia, captain of the Talons. She knows Leofard's the best sky pirate alive, and the fact he won't join her sticks in her craw. Talon's deck swab. Are you gonna let that man talk to you like that, Captain? We should teach them Red Bills some respect. Radlia looks at him. Patience. When all of this is over, we shall see who rules the skies. She gives an evil smirk. Her little flunky follows behind her. I look around the cluttered room with there's a giant-ass painting behind there. I wonder what that's stolen from. Leofard gets to his feet. But basically there was like books and knives and bits of coin just kind of scattered around. Not a very tidy pirate. Leofard. Ho there, hero. I promised you high adventure, and high adventure you shall have. For we plan to board the Sea of Cloud's very own ghost ship. He smiles broadly. Stacia. Or what folks have been taking to calling one anyway. Every day for the past few weeks has brought with it a new sighting of the self-same vessel. A massive airship of queer design, adrift on the wind. Being a curious lot, there were a few buccaneers who tried exploring below decks, but not one of them's been seen since. And so, naturally, they're saying the ship is cursed. Well, haunted. Leofard frowns. Like I said, an honest-to-God's ghost ship. My guess is she's another relic left behind by the Elegants. But we won't know for sure till we've had ourselves a good poke around inside. And liberated whatever ancient treasure she's got moldering away in her hold, of course. Stacia. But before we start dividing up the spoils, we've got to find the damn thing. Which is why we've been working on a special new device. Leofard. Bah. Finding her will be the easy part. What we can't do without is a veteran explorer who ain't afraid to fling herself face first into the jaws of danger. Now, I know you're a gallant champion of the people and all, but strip away the frame and the glory and I'll wager you're still an adventurer at heart. So what say you, Suicune? Fancy a plunge into the unknown at the side of the Red Bills? I nod, stoically. He smiles brightly. Stacia shrugs. Stacia. That's settled. Then it's settled. Let's pay a visit to our crewmate, Utata. She's been working on a way to track the vessel. We nod. So the pirate flag is a black flag with a red pirate ship with wings above the pirate ship. All red. The ship and the wings are red. Flag is black. Utata. What is Utata? Utata is a Lalafell. A female Lalafell. She's got long brown hair, she's got very pointy ears, green eyes, a black hat with goggles, a black top that's kind of like tied over her chest, and a black skirt. Yutata. Greetings! The name's Yutata. I suppose you'd call me the Red Bill's Chief of Engineering. Smithing, carpentry, magitech. If it's part of an airship, I can fix it. Just don't expect to see me waving a cutlass or swinging over the rails. If there's fighting to be done, well, that's what we have you for. I mean, fair enough. To rule the skies. Yutata. I think she's also got a heart on her left cheek. Well met, ladies and gentle pirates. Now that we appear to have our hero, I'm happy to report that we're overcome the last obstacle to boarding the ghost ship. Leofard. Meaning your project is proceeding as planned? Yutata gives a little cheer. Yutata. That it is, Captain. I knew this would be the perfect place to take readings. The scant amounts of background ether make it easy to follow the derelict's trail. I can speak. Stacia. The ghost ship has what Yutata tells us as a unique etheric signature. She's been building a device what can sniff out this particular spectral flavor and point us in the right direction. Yutata. I call it the ectocompass. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's allowed me to collect some solid data on the vessel's movements and plot a reliable intercept course. No groping blindly through the clouds for us. Stacia. All the ships are loaded and ready to fly. Just say the word, Captain. Leofard nods. Leofard. Yutata, you'd best stay here, out of harm's way. Keep an eye on them aether trails, eh? Yutata. Aye, Captain! Grab an armload of treasure for me! Leofard. Now we've got no way of knowing what's waiting for us on that cursed hulk. So you'd best bring along a few mates, what you know you can trust. Don't hurt to be too careful, seeing as how you'll be going in first and all. I did tell you you'd be going in first, didn't I? Why, you will. Okay. The rest of us will be guarding the rear, just in case Redalia and her brood decide to stick their beaks in where they ain't wanted. Don't worry, she'll not get past us, so you can concentrate on carving a path into the ship's belly. I nod. He smiles and crosses his arms. An honest-to-God's ghost ship. Oh, this is gonna be an adventure and a half. The Void Ark now accessible. Oh, this is one of those big quests. Oh yeah, because it's like the Crystal Tower. These are big quests. We have 6 healers, though. Holy shit. Oh yeah, because there's 3 teams or whatever. On some kind of, I assume, massive ship. It's kind of black and purple. The Void Ark. Yeah, that. There's all kinds of flying monsters flying around the ship. The ship is huge. So this is my first time someone goes, nothing could possibly go wrong. Yes, this will all go smoothly. I just need to follow my friend. You will lead me. I don't know what we're doing. We're kicking the shit out of everything that was coming across. I mean, with ease. These things basically just kind of look like if manta rays could fly. Basically what I can tell, but they look like. Ah, the leg. Oh god, the leg. That's not good. I don't know why I'm playing so bad. Leg, but there must be just so much going on. See, not that I can see anything that's going on, because there are so many attacks, and they're all so flashy. Eh. I'm locked out. We killed it, whatever it was. Oh, these guys didn't even get their treasure chest. That seems wasteful. We're already in the next room, fighting the boss, and I wasn't even there yet. Here we go. Where's my girl? I mean, I can understand why people would come here and not leave, because they straight up get murdered by millions of freaking monsters. Oh no, I'm dying. Oh no, we have so many problems. Why are so many people dying? This coffin just laying against the wall there? Kinda looks like it. There's lights that are glitching out. It's like Cerberus was an angry dragon plant. I don't know what the thing is. I have other skills, don't I? Do not see it. flower. Or a flower on my head. Or something. I don't get it. I think I'm attacking you guys. I think I have like a brain plant. No! Oh no, this is not so bad. What am I supposed to do? I can never tell if I'm supposed to like go towards someone or away from someone. I think I'm gonna die again. So I got planted in the ground again, and I killed him last time. I think we somehow won. Don't ask me how. I have no idea. Metal Lake mortals, arise and taste vengeance! Guess I'm supposed to go in here. I got catapulted, basically. Why was there a werewolf? I don't think that was a proper boss battle, so didn't do too bad with that one. Got catapulted again. It's a very gentle catapult, they're not just shooting me with a spoon or whatever. Kind of float me over there. Again, this is supposed to be some kind of ship, or this is the weirdest designed ship ever. The RPG ships usually are. Or I guess video game ships usually are. Okay, so that makes me think of, what is that? Bleeding. Sustained damage over time. I don't like that. Maybe a booty. Way to stop the bleed. Cuchulain. Cuchulain? All these things I keep forgetting I have access to. I really love to use them. Vomiting all over me. Am I paralyzed? What the fuck? I can take this. Doors open, some smoke dramatically escapes. Got some Medusas. I think that's Medusa. What the friggin' top of a lady and bottom of a snake, whatever the fuck that is. They transformed into an ugly motherfucker. You had intrude upon the Queen's very... Whatever. Can't read it, too much is going on. I assume she is the one that is killing all of the things. Everyone dogpile! Your fate shall be throttled in serpent coils. You say so. super claws. I can't even see what the fuck is going on. There's so much is flying on screen. I literally can't tell what's going on. If there's things on the floor I'm not supposed to step on, I am not gonna see for shit. I dodged the eyeball attack. Oh god. Touching the void. Yay! The void arc complete. Oh god, the player combination is so hard now. So there's some kind of giant... I don't know what that is. Leofard walks it from behind me. Bugger me. I expected danger, but not a Hella spawns bleeding nightmare made flesh like that. Yeah, that's basically what that was. Didn't stop you and your mates though, did it? That's some crew you've got there, and no mistake. Stacia and someone else runs up from behind us too. She gives a thumbs up. Giant ogre guy's carrying a big chest full of gold. And a sword sticking out and a pearl necklace, the whole 9 yards. Leofard. Alright then. Let's have a look inside that dirty great coffer type thing. Something tells me it's filled to the brim with booty. Something tells me it's filled to the brim with hellspawn. Considering it's all red and glowing and evil looking and tied with red glowing chains. Just saying, it looks pretty evil. Stacia's waving like, no, don't do it! Stacia, don't look at me, I never moved a muscle! I look up. Yeah, the rest of them look up too. Oh, Satan showed up. Great. It literally looks like Diablo. Gifford. What in the seven hells is that bastard doing? What, Satan? Being Satan, I would assume. Opening up the gates of hell, I would think. This way, swiftly now! So basically, he's standing in front of the giant thing the guy was thinking was full of booty, and we know it's a gate to hell, I'm sure. And, he basically has, like, a cross of red lines, like red glowing lines, and they have a north, south, east, west point to them that end in circles. And it makes like a box. That's a cat thing. Gifford, can anyone else see that talking cat over there? Bloody hells, this adventure's getting queerer by the minute. Did the cat talk? Because I didn't see it talk. But yeah, it's a cat literally just standing on two legs. So, I'd rather take me chances with a prattling puss than stay here. Get your things, mateys, we're leaving. I didn't even see what the cat said. Oh well. Stacia. But, what about the loot? There's no loot in that thing, girl, come on. Hell is in that thing. Gifford. You can't spend it when you're dead. We'll either follow the furball or make friends with spell-slinging Voidborn. Your choice. Stacia. Gods damn it! How's an honest sky pirate meant to make a living? She gapes as Satan opens his wings, opens his mouth, and gets rid of the red glowing change that was around the gates to hell. And we finally decide to book it. Yeah, I don't know why you thought there was treasure in that thing. Clearly it's not. Is that cat flying its own ship? We're flying the hell out of here. See an ocean. I think. Looked oceany to me. I think that's the Void Ark. It's huge. Oh, it looks like it has chains wrapped around its backside too. Got that. Oh, never mind. Chains broke. Gifford. The ship's breaking up. Is he trying to bring her down? No, he's trying to open her up. It's clear. Yep, there it goes. The door's open. Oh, a giant beam is going to shoot at us. Just like in Star Wars. Big fuck you beam shooting at us. I think it just burnt the water. Or corrupted it or something. Question mark. The Void Scent is attempting to initiate dimensional displacement. But the gate, it cannot possibly be large enough for the entire ship. Is that the cat that was talking? Satan is just kind of hovering in the night sky with the moon shining behind him. Another part of the ship opens up underneath it this time. Satan flies down. I think that's the coffin-looking thing they were talking about before, and it drops out of the bottom of the ship into the, I guess that beam opened up a void. Question mark. The Queen's coffin! He takes it beyond our reach! I think that's the cat. And the coffin goes inside the void. And so does Diablo. Well, fuck. Ship seems to just kind of slowly lumber on as it descends into water, question mark? Or is that clouds? I think it might just be clouds, but it looks like water to me. Leofard. Well, there don't seem much point in hanging around here. Let's get back to solid ground. I nod. Leofard. Aye, 'twas a bit touch and go in places, I grant you. But here we all are, and all with our bits still attached. This calls for a foamin' flagon of... Hold on. Ain't we missing someone? Didn't I tell Utatha to wait for us here? Question mark. Never fear, we've been keeping the girl company. Oh, no. Ah, it's that bitch! Radlia. Radlia stands proudly with her arms crossed and smiles broadly. She's a smug bitch. But enough about her. Did you see the cannon on that ship? As you know, my dear Leofard, I am not easily moved. But the sheer power on display set me all a-quiver. Leofard. Well, I hope you're content to admire it from afar. That vessel ain't for the likes of you and me. Nope. Radlia. Do not presume to measure me by your own limitations. Besides, I believe I've shown how resourceful I can be. Which brings me neatly to the point. You have in your possession a device capable of tracking the ghost ship. Hand it over or your engineer shall suffer the consequences. One of her flunkies walks forward. Leofard glares at them. One of her flunkies takes out a spear and points it at Utatha's head. Leofard reluctantly gives over whatever it is she asked for. Radlia. Oh yeah, the thing that tracks the ship. Perfect. A compass pointing the way to my... Perfect. A compass pointing the way to my just reward. A weapon like that belongs in the hands of one with the will to use it. No it does not. That's not the point of it. Come, lads, our business here is concluded. Utatha runs over to Leofard. Utatha. I'm sorry, Captain. They caught me off guard. Stacia. You get a bang on the head or summit? The man I know would never give it to scum like her without a fight. Unless... Leofard smiles and crosses his arms. What did you do to the compass? Leofard. Who, me? Not. Besides, Besides slipping a link pearl into its casing, so long as Radlia keeps it close, and you can be damn sure she will, we'll know exactly what them thieving bastards are planning. Anyone care to wager how long it'll take her to notice me, little gift? Stacia shakes her head, with her hands on her hips, then ponders it. Stacia, that's very clever and all, but how are you proposing to stop her from getting her hands on that derelict and its great big cannon? Leofard, I ain't worked that part out yet, but I expect it'll start with us keeping a close eye on the Talons. Before we get into any of that, though, I've got some questions what need answering. Curious Cat. Is that cat wearing a cape? Curious Cat. You wish to know more of the Void Ark? The ghost ship, as you call it? Leofard. The Void Ark? So that's its proper name. Aye, I'd like to hear whatever you'd care to tell us, puss. The cat crosses her arms. I assume it's a girl. I don't know. It's hard to tell. And I think it's wearing a little crown on its head. And yeah, it's got a little red cape. And very large green eyes. Ket Sith. Oh, wait. Kate Sith. From the thing that's usually with the big white thing in Final Fantasy VII. Or is this like a different version of it? Kate Sith. And I, for my part, am curious to hear your stories. Ere we continue, however, I must insist that you address me by my proper name, Kate Sith. I will not respond to puss or cat, and most decidedly not furball. Looks like we're back in Leofard's office. There's a painting on the wall. They keep sweeping over that painting. It's a woman with long black hair, wearing a black outfit. Kate Sith walks across the desk. My tale begins long, long ago in the city of Mac. M-H-A-C-H. I want to go with Mac. Which once stood in the lands of Yaphim. The sorcerers of Mac were masters of destructive magics, and they brought that terrible power to bear against Amdapor and Nim in the War of the Magi. You are gonna make me dizzy, Cat. The titanic forces they unleashed, however, took a heavy toll upon the land, ultimately resulting in a colossal flood that drowned the realm of Eorzea. A catastrophe which my master, High Void Mage Cessier, was wise enough to foresee. Stacia. Wait. Colossal flood? Are you talking about the 6th Umbral Calamity? Kate Sith. I suppose you would know it as such. Now, where was I? Yes. When they learned of the fate that awaited them, the Magi began construction of a gargantuan vessel that would bear their people to the skies and to safety. The operation of the Void Ark, as the ship came to be called, was entrusted to Cessier. Prior to that, of course, my master had been a prisoner in her own home, confined for her outspoken opposition to the war. Utata. So the Ark was meant as a sanctuary? Then how did it come to be so, what happened to all the people? And where did all the Void Scent come from? Kate Sith. By what power do you imagine such a massive craft remains aloft? The energy required to raise the Ark was siphoned from over 1,000 otherworldly servants sealed within the vessel. Yutata nods. Kateseth. Advances in Maki sorcery were made for one reason and one reason only: cataclysmic destructive power. And the swiftest and most dangerous method of acquiring that power was through the enslavement of void-sent entities. Kateseth looks down and closes their eyes. Yutata. So the creatures on the derelict, they broke free from your master's control? Kateseth nods. Kateseth. At the very heart of the Ark, the Void Mages had entombed a great ruler of the Void-Sent, Skathek, the Shadow Queen. But in order to control so potent of a prisoner, a mage of adamant will was required, and being Max permanent sorcerer, Cecir was deemed best qualified. Were it otherwise, my master might never have been released from her own imprisonment. Leofard's sitting in his chair with his feet up on his desk again. Yet even with Cecir's peerless skill, the Shadow Queen could not long be subjugated. One after another, the lesser Void-Sent awoke and ran rampant within the ship. In the end, Cecir and the 53 Void Mages aboard the Ark sacrificed their own life energies to return the fiends to their coffins, leaving me, a lowly familiar, to watch over a derelict prison. Kateseth closes their eyes sadly. Leofard. If I remember me Umbral eras right, the stuff you just described happened more in 1,500 years ago, years past, which is a good while by anyone's measure. And since everything seems to have been quiet on board your boat till just recently, I'm thinking something unusual must have happened to wake the inmates up. Am I warm? Kateseth. One day a Void-Sent had taken the shape of a bat, flew into the ship. At first it was little more than a nuisance that I brushed away, but the longer it remained on the Ark, the stronger it seemed to become. Eventually I could not contend with its power, and it began shattering seal after seal. Leofard and I look at each other, give each other a worried glance. Kateseth. You have faced this bat-winged fiend before? It would seem then that the creature survived the encounter, and that he intends to celebrate his restoration by liberating his queen. Leofard. Well, that explains that then, except for one small detail. Namely, where the queen's coffin went. After it fell out of the ship's belly, I'm assuming it didn't just disappear, right? Kateseth. You recall the great rift that the Ark's cannon ripped in the sky? That was a void gate. Such a portal opens a temporary path through the void, allowing the ship to travel almost instantaneously from one location to another. The Void-Sent, as you saw, only opened a gate large enough to displace the coffin. As for the coffin's destination, however, that's as much a mystery to me as it is to you. I beseech you, conquerors of the Ark, help me find the Queen's coffin ere the wards binding Skathek are dispelled. Leofard smiled and rose to his feet. He's got a bright smile. With the painting of that lady behind him, the one that's got long, flowing black hair. It's, curly black hair, pointy wings, fair skin, dark, kind of like a dress thing on. Like Victorian type dress, I guess. Leofard. Smells to me like an adventure. And who knows what ancient Maquis treasures we might stumble on along the way. Gods know they'll make a nice change from all them Allegan tombstones we've been collecting. I will help you. I'm not risking me hide for the sake of the realm, you understand. But I'll be damned if I let either Radlia or that bat-winged bastard take the freedom of the skies from me. Cait Sith. You care only for how you might be inconvenienced? If the Shadow Queen were to return, it would have dire consequences for the entire star. Leofard bangs his hands on the table. Leofard, count your blessings, furball. I said we'd help, didn't I? Utata cheers and Stacia just kind of shrugs. Leofard smiles. Leofard, before we go rushing off in search of that coffin, though, there's preparations to be made. You might as well get back to your usual heroical employment, Suicune. I'll let you know when it's time to round up your mates again. I nod, stoically. Leofard laughs and gives a little cheer. Oh, we see Radlia. She's in her, I guess, meeting room or something. She's got a couple of large maps on the table with some goons surrounding her. She's holding a pipe in her right hand. Radlia. The time is nigh, my dear Talons. Soon we shall seize control of the ghost ship and all its power, and rule the skies from here to the ends of the world. Paying the bills. Achievement unlocked. The Weeping City. Suicune, I was just about to fly, Stacia. Suicune, I was just about to fly out to Ishgard and track you down. You remember Cait Sith, that Maquis familiar? We've been working with him on a plan to find Diablos and the Queen's coffin. Oh, that really was Satan. I was just joking. I didn't realize that was actually Satan. They've been void sent sighting from pirates all over, so we know that Batwing's bugger's hiding someplace in the sky. We just don't know exactly where. As for the going about pinpointing the location, Leofard and the feline are bickering over just exactly how. That's where you come in. If you have a spare moment or two, we could use a third opinion to break the stalemate. Besides all that, Leofard's eager to have another hand to help with the search, so come on over to Perak as soon as you're able. You know the way from here, don't you? Stacia, thanks for coming. The captain and the cat are inside, still having their discussion. Talk to Leofard, will you, before I strangle the both of them? Yeah, it looks like Leofard and the cat are having some kind of argument. And Stacia just kind of puts her hands on her hips. Leofard, if you're here to ask about the Queen's coffin, then you'd best turn around and walk straight out again. The aggravating furballs turned my mood sour as month-old ailed goat milk. Stacia points at him. Leofard, Suicune's come all this way to help us. At your request, I might add. She deserves to hear where we stand on the search, at least. Leofard crosses his arms stubbornly, and she crosses her arms in response. He shrugs and shakes his head. Leofard, the search is giving me ulcers, is what it is. By all reports, Diablos is lurking somewhere in the heavens, building up his forces. But the sky is a vast dome, as high as the ocean is deep, and we've not the pirates to scour every damn floating rock. He crosses his arms again. That's when I tried my luck with Radlia. You remember her, don't you? Captain of the Talons, blonde hair, one eye, stole her bloody compass? Well, I've been eavesdropping with that link pearl I slipped into the caisson, hoping to catch something useful. But all I've heard from her and her sorry crew is snoring, grumbling, and japes about the Archbishop's holy nethers. Dang. In the end, it seems we've no choice but to do this the hard way. But a certain mewling annoyance refuses to acknowledge the truth of it. Kate said, You cannot possibly hope to investigate the entire sky with this meager handful of ne'er-do-wells. I find my suggestion to seek aid from your fellow pirate gangs a perfectly reasonable one under the circumstances. Leofard looks pissed. Leofard, stow it, you mangy alley cat. You've not the faintest idea how sky pirates operate. Best case scenario, we'd be locked into a deal to hand over any treasure we find. And that's assuming we weren't laughed out of the room to begin with. Kate Sith also looks pissed. You cannot assume that every man and woman shares your base morality. If we but made the attempt, I am sure we could convince some few of the nobility of our cause. Leofard crosses his arms and shakes his head. Stacia, and so it goes, round and round. Knowing pirates as I do, I find myself siding with the captain on this. But what of you, Suicune? Any thoughts on the matter? Let's see. What are your thoughts on the matter? We should handle this ourselves, we should seek aid from other crews, or keep your silence. I mean, I really don't see this ending well if we try to get other pirates involved. I mean, they're pirates. I mean, we chased out the ones that were trying to shake down someone else. I really don't see it going well. We should handle it ourselves. Leofard crosses his arms and smiles broadly. Leofard, see there? Even Suicune agrees with me. We proceed as we have been, and try to cover as much sky as possible. However we tackled things, though, we've a long road ahead of us. I'll see if I can't think of a better way to shorten it. You might as well head back to your adventures, Suicune. Unless you're willing to lend us your expertise in another matter, that is. Utata, our chief engineer, has been mumbling about the Void Ark and cursing under her breath for days. Might be as you can provide some insight into her dilemma. Kate said, She is conducting her research in the Sea of Clouds, yes? Well, I should rather discuss the properties of the Void Ark than continue with this fruitless debate. I shall see you down there, Suicune. I don't really know the ins and outs of familiars. Like, are they basically their own people, or are they kind of programmed to be certain things that they are single-mindedly, for? I really don't know. Yutata sighs and shrugs her shoulders in defeat. She looks so sad. She looks at Katesith and her mouth keeps open for some reason. Katesith, what troubles you, Mistress Yutata? Were you told that some matter regarding the Void Ark was causing you no... Oh, hold on. What troubles you, Mistress Yutata? We were told that some matter regarding the Void Ark was causing you no small measure of grief. Oh no, she starts to cry. She tackles the cat. She's hugging and squeezing the cat and shaking. Shaking the poor thing. Oh, she's happy now. Okay. Katesith, Mistress Yutata, what are you? Oh, ah! She's so happy now. Squeezing the poor life out of the cat. Yep, super happy now. She gives a cheer. Yutata, I feel so much better now. My apologies, Katesith. You had the misfortune to enter my field of view, just as I felt the intense desire to squeeze something warm and furry. It's this damnable ectocompass. I made another one, you see. Identical in all respects to the first compass that Rodlia stole. But look! It points in a completely different direction to where the Void Ark should currently be. I don't understand what I did wrong. I used the same plans, the same parts. Or could it just be pointing in the right direction? You don't know? Katesith, I can imagine that would be infuriating. And you are certain there are no flaws in the design of the materials? Yutata, positive. I've tweaked and adjusted and replaced every single piece, but it refuses to function as intended. I'm on the verge of tossing the blasted thing over the edge. What do you make of this, Suicune? I think it's pointing in the right direction. I don't think the compass is broken. Something may have happened to the Void Ark. I haven't the slightest idea. Let's see. I don't think the compass is broken. I think it's pointing in the right direction. Katesith nods. Katesith, yes, I am inclined to agree, judging by your previous work. It would seem unlikely that the compass itself is defective. We must consider other factors. Might you explain to us the principle by which the ectocompass tracks the Void Ark? She nods. Yutata, it all comes down to etheric signature. I discovered that the Void Ark is encompassed by an energy of rather peculiar composition, so I simply tuned the compass to follow its unique trail. Katesith thinks. Katesith, an energy of peculiar composition, you say? Of course. The Ark was propelled by the siphoned energies of Voidsent. Could it be that the compass was tracking not the vessel itself, but the ether of the entities imprisoned within? Oh, that makes sense. That would certainly explain why the compass now points in a different direction than one would expect. After all, Diablos and the Shadow Queen are no longer on board the Ark. Yutata. Are you implying that if we plotted a course based on the readings from the ectocompass, we would arrive on the demon's doorstep, so to speak? Kate said, Just so, Mistress Yutata. Assuming my theory is correct, we no longer require outside assistance to pursue our elusive quarry. Yutata's face just beamed with that wide mouth grin and wide eyes and shit. It's great. Yutata. Oh, Sacia! What perfect timing! You won't believe the wonderful discovery we've just... Uh-oh, her face suddenly turned serious. Oh no, she's frantic. Talon airships have been spotted en route to our nest. If it's revenge they're looking for, we'd best head back and make ready for them. Talon's deck swab. Truce, Red Bill. We need your help to save Captain Radlia. Wait, what? Leofard's looking at it with his arms crossed. Leofard, you're one of Radlia's favorites. You threaten my crew, steal our compass, and now you come crawling to me for help? What kind of unholy mess have you cretins stumbled into? Talon's deck swab. So this Talon's deck swab was the guy that was following her earlier. He's got a mask over his face. He's got short blonde hair. He's fair-skinned and has blue goggles over his eyes. And he's got kind of looks like a gray coat with that what they call it, like an ascot. He's got like a white ascot around his neck. Aye, we took your damn compass, but it didn't show us to the ghost ship. We ended up at some moldy old ruins, lousy with void scent. Before we knew it, some sort of spider demon was knocking our ships out of the sky. The two of us managed to pull away, but we saw what happened to them as got caught on the ground. If the captain survived the massacre, she's stuck there with no wings to fly out again. Stacia thinks. Stacia, why don't you give that Link Pearl a listen, Captain? Might be as we can learn if Radlia is alive or dead, at least. Leofard nods. Leofard. Ugh, so much buzzing. Can't hear a blasted... Wait, I'm getting some words. They're after Maki artifact. Damn demons are searching. Hide! He shakes his head. And then a bunch of screaming. Seems Radlia is still kicking for now, but who knows for how long. If those screams were an act, then consider me fooled. I don't think the Talons are laying a trap here. The deck swab shakes his head, as Leofard thinks, and smiles brightly. He points at the deck swab. Leofard, I have half a minute to leave Radlia to her fate, but I never turn my back on an adventure, especially when the scent of treasure's in the air, eh? Now, tell me where you found those ruins. Talon deck squad. You'll help us then? You're a good man, Red Bill. We left the captain in the Yafim Salt Moon, just northwest of Mordona. Kate said, looks surprised. Kate said, And ye feign, ye say? Then you must speak of the ruined shell of Mach itself. By Chateau's black heart, could they be after the Nullstone? Leofard. What's that, puss? You think you know what those fiends are after? Kateseth nods. Leofard. Right. Yutata, see that these talons are patched up, then have the Ramiel ready to fly. And don't spare the oil. You know I love her. I love to hear her purr. Yutata gives a thumbs up. Suikim, Stacia, bring the furball to my quarters and we'll have ourselves a chat about our impending trip to Old Mach. Stacia nods. Leofard smiles brightly. I got myself confused there for a second. I thought I had to go somewhere else. Did I go the wrong way? Where am I? Leofard. Alright, Furball, let's hear about this artifact that Diablos is looking for. Kateseth nods. Kateseth. If I am to speak of the Nullstone, then I must first explain the method by which Maki sorcerers would bind the Voidsent into service. Kateseth looks at a giant map sitting on the table. The more powerful the Voidsent, the more difficult it is to manifest its presence in this world. Their own immense strength weighs them down like an anchor, you see? Preventing them from breaking the surface of our dimension. And that is why they cooperate with mortal sorcerers. A mage can provide a suitable vessel for the summoning, or rip a large enough hole in the fabric of reality for the entity itself to step through. Stacia. And let me guess, the mage forces the Voidsent to agree to a pact in return for the invitation into our world? Kateseth nods. Kateseth. That is correct. But it would be foolhardy to expect such devious and malevolent creatures to abide by the spirit of even the most carefully worded contract. Thus did the Maki Magi construct an occult device that would more securely bind the Voidsents to their will, a safeguard of sorts, that, to the best of my knowledge, yet lies entombed within the remnants of the ancient city. The Nullstone was seen as a last resort. Should a Voidsent break its pact and turn on its summoner, the mage could use the relic to disperse the very essence of even the most potent entity, obliterating it completely. Leofard shrugs. Leofard. I can't see the royals of the void taking too kindly to a threat like that. Seems those sorcerers were just as ruthless as the monsters they summoned. Kateseth. When it came to the glory of Mach, the ends justified the means. In any event, we can be certain that Diablos seeks to secure the Nullstone, before it falls into mortal hands, and thereby ensure that Skatak will reign unopposed. Leofard. Alright, so we know what the fiends are after. But what I don't understand is why such a valuable relic was left behind when the mages knew a colossal flood was on the way. Katesith. Its value was the very reason they chose not to risk its relocation. The Nullstone is kept within a structure constructed for the purpose, secured behind powerful wards and protected by deadly guardians. And with the rising of the waters, they reasoned that the artifact would be sunk along with the city, far beyond the reach of vengeful Voidsent. Leofard. But now that Yafim is more swamp than sea, the demons only have the wards and the guardians to deal with. And I doubt they'd be wasting their time down there in the mud if they didn't have some trick to break through the wards. Leofard pounds his fists together. Aye, this became a race to see who can nab the treasure first, which is just the sort of contest a sky pirate lives for. He smiles brightly. Stacia cheers. Stacia. So we slip into the ruins, pinch the relic, then rescue Radlia right from under the fiend's nose. Why are we rescuing Radlia? I mean, I'm all for taking their shit, but why are we rescuing Radlia? Leofard. Well, I suppose we could save her while we're poking around for loot. Yeah, see, he's got it right. Stacia shrugs. Leofard. I'll grab the new compass from Nutata, so we know where we're going. Check your weapons, pack your small clothes, and meet me out by the landing when you're ready to fly. Katesith nods. Stacia nods, and I nod. Then we leave the room. Leofard. We'll fly directly to Yafim from here. Once we arrive, you forge ahead with your band of adventurers as you did in the Ark. Suikyun, just keep slicing into the depths until you reach the Nullstone. We don't want to risk getting knocked out of the sky like the Talons, so we'd best land a little ways out from the ruins and head on foot. The Furball says he knows the place well enough to guide you. So me and the Red Bills will follow behind on rescue duty. You concentrate on smashing a path through the artifact. To the artifact. We'll check the nooks and crannies for Radlia and her crew. Don't let your guard down once you reach the ruins, though, eh? There's likely golems and such in there. What are worse than the fiends outside, and we wouldn't want our hero losing her head now, would we? The Weeping City of Mac. Yep, that's some ruins. That looks like a giant scorpion. The Weeping City of Mac. Passing over a little bubbly lake. Do you spy that wreckage up ahead? Could it be one of the Talons? Yeah, there was more of you blood-filled monsters! Oh no, this is zombie flowers? Insects. Oh, I got blasted here. Ah, not strong enough. Not strong enough. Whoa. Yeah, the thing with doing these types of raids, the ones that have a lot of people in them, is that when we say, oh, I'm brand new, I've never done this before, no one goes, oh, sure, let me explain the mechanics. He just head on forward. follow them closely. So they keep getting my ass kicked. I haven't died yet, but I do get my ass kicked. Are you frightened, my precious prey? Ah, I'm running away. Shit. Why am I running away? Everyone's sticking on these spider webs because I looked. What manner of prey bites back? This is not a tributary. I'm not sure what that was about. Yeah, it kind of looks like the others aren't opening up their treasure chests, which is weird. I'm not terribly fond of water. Oh no, I'm being swept down the river. It's like a water slide. Oh god, that was a long fall. Ow. My body. I'm pretty sure that should have killed me. Where is everybody? Ow. Ow. Sessier lawns. Apparently that sounds lawn. Some of you survived? How convenient. I am in need of fresh souls to shatter the ward. Even empty husks have their uses. See how they jerk and dance at my command? those who oppose me the extent of their folly. Solitude weakens the spirit and warps the flesh. Stray from the pack at your peril. My undead toys are so easily broken. Mayhap my minions will prove them sturdier. Will prove the sturdier. How tiresome. I had thought to spare my energies for the war. Fuck, I died. Oh, I died again. What the shit? So apparently for me to not die in that instance, I have to be a zombie. Does that make sense? That is a... I'm not even in the boss fight and I still got my ass kicked. What the shit? Giant stone head. I'm pretty sure no one even died. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't know there was a mechanic where I had to be a zombie. So I kept dying. Barring Our Way is a terrible sphere that has devoured entire cities. We must prove the stronger if we are to reach the Nullstone. Yep, that's a sphere. It kind of looks like a... well, I mean, it kind of looks like a... well, it's obviously a sphere, but it kind of looks like a marble. That's... because there's, like, marbles that have little swirly bits of color inside of them, and it kind of looks like that, except it's twirling around. Oh. That's... this A's over here? I'm in Group A. So I guess I'm supposed to do this first. The sphere transformed into a... okay. It's a very angry one. I died. I don't know why. We basically all died. Oh no! I don't know why we're dying. The cube seems to be shooting out beams of very deadly energy. Oh, now it's back to the sphere. Yeah, my group's the only group that basically got our asses kicked. Basically all died. Some kind of swirling vortex for some reason. So knew I. Now they're fighting some kind of... at first I was going to say it's a harpy, but I don't think that is. Singularity Ripple, in the shape of basically a griffin. And someone had tried resurrecting me, and it wouldn't let me resurrect. Alright, I guess I'm gonna go to the starting point. Okay, so this is where we were. How the fuck did I get there? Oh, that's not where I want to be. Well, this sucks. We're locked out of the boss fight. Let me go fight the Anger Sphere that transforms into a Rubik's Cube. I mean, the rest of the parties are doing okay, but we got slaughtered. Oh, this is embarrassing. Oh, another team got wiped out. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a wipe, I guess. But I can't even see what the boss is at, so... Yeah, an entire team got wiped out. And the other team is half wiped out. Oh hey, the sphere turned into a triangle. If you die, you don't need to go back to start. Other alliances can res. We were left at the top. Bruh. Both healers were dead going into black hole. Couldn't be raised. We couldn't get a rest at that point up on the mountain. Reminder for Tank to stay in corner, so Laser doesn't wipe the rest of the team. Yeah, we were stuck. We couldn't do anything. We live in a society. Great. Who doesn't love Sphere? What I heard. What is that? I just noticed a block of what looks like a hand coming out of it. I guess they're just a block of fist or something. Okay, this is where we all die. So let's try and avoid that. How do we avoid the death? Hey, we survived. All right. Ah, shit. We got thrust into the black hole again. I mean, I guess we're supposed to go there, but we're alive this time. So, progress? Killed the griffin thing. Alright, so now here is a... No, this is basically it. Oh, that's an eye. Live away from the eye. Nailed it. Other black hole on purpose this time. Cube's at 19%. Spend that on. Did we win? No, I guess we did. See that giant pyramid-looking thing from the inside. There's, of course, a mostly naked lady, as you do. She's very blue. It's perfect. Kind of reminds me of Shiva. With long tendril-like hair. Are people starting the boss fight while I'm in the cutscene? your slayer, intruders. I am Califistri, and I am the blood of Void Scent have I ascended to the sublime. Yellow. Behold my magnificent meme. That's what it looked like to me, she said. I'm sure her meme is very magnificent. Oh shit, I know, it's all falling apart already. Oh no, I'm trapped. Trapped in her hair. Unkempt thieves. Why do you yet stand? I almost got knocked. Managed to stay on though. Oh, people are dying. Ex Machina. Achievement unlocked. There's a green orb floating in the air, and it floats higher. You win! Weeping City of Mach complete. Okay, I gotta give a accommodation to that guy, because his car is... Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Holy crap. There's a green floating orb. I smile at Leofard's approach. Leofard. So, this is the heart of the ruins, eh? Stacia shrugs. Stacia, you've done a fine job dismantling the defenses, Suicune. I only wish we could say we had the same success, but Radlia and her talons were nowhere to be found. Cait Sith. Yes, it is quite distressing, but we must focus on claiming the prize at hand. The Nullstone is ours. Bet you it's not. The green stone floats down to Cait Sith. Uh-oh. Question mark. Mwahaha! You've left me such an inviting trail of destruction to follow. Uh-oh. The fuck is that? Ferdiad. So, Ferdiad is clearly some kind of monster. He's humanoid, but he's got, like, massive ram horns coming out of his head. And he almost, I would say he almost looks like he's wearing a crown of some kind. He's got a really, really long, frilly thing around his neck. And I think that's... I'm trying to see what else. He's got, like, lots of snakes, like golden snakes or something coming out of his back. It's kind of hard to tell. The snakes look like they have spikes coming out of them, too. Ferdiad. I see you found the relic, then. Wonderful. Lord Diablos will be so pleased. And look here, I brought you a gift as thanks for all your hard work. Hey, he's a demon asshole. Oh, he's got a Radlia. She's suspended in air by her wrists. Leofard looks kind of pissed about that. The demon thing puts a scythe or something to Radlia's neck. Ferdiad. This is the lovely lass you've been oh so desperately seeking, isn't it? Unless you wish to see her rent limb from limb, then you will hand over the Nullstone. Like, no? Because, we're not friends or nothing. In fact, she's a pain in my ass. Leofard looks at Cait Sith, and Cait Sith nods. Radlia smiles a little bit. Leofard walks forward. And smiles. And takes out his gun. He points it at Radlia, who looks really shocked. About to say, Leofard, you think I care about her worthless limbs? That woman's done naught but causes grief, and I just thought to crow over her grave. She does not look happy about that. Even the demon's like, wait, what? Cait Sith activates the Nullstone while everyone's distracted. Leofard, don't give me that look, Radlia. What? You thought I was here to save your sorry hide? You've never been aught but an obstacle to me. Do you remember the first time we met? You were roaring with laughter at the sight of all of them elegant relics. Until I used your pretty blonde head as a stepping stone. Radlia is pissed. Radlia, damn you, you selfish bastard! And damn me for expecting you to act any different! If I had my weapons, I'd blow a bloody hole in your belly! Leofard just kind of smiles and nods. Have you forgotten how awfully shot you are? Not much of a threat when I've seen you miss the side of a cathedral at 10 yalms. She's struggling to get out of her restraints. Ferdiad. Silence, you grinning fool! You've ruined my moment, and now I'll ruin your smirking face! He jumps high into the air and raises his weapon. Leofard, now, puss! The Nullstone transformed into some kind of staff, which Kateson points at the demon guy. Ferdiad, what? Ah! It burns! It burns! It burns! Kateson, this world is not your stage, unholy harlequin. Be gone from our realm. Shoots a beam of light at the demon thing, who writhes in agony and is bathed in bright purple light. Then disappears, because he did. The restraints holding Rodlia dissipate and she falls to the floor and lands on her ass. Ferdiad. Grrr! A clever farce, mortals. But the show is not over. Not until you scream. Leofard just kind of smiles and walks over to Rodlia. He looks around. The bugger got away, and I think we'd best do the same. Oh, he got away? I thought we killed him. Damn it. Oh, well. Oh, I saw a bat. Saw a bat for a second, just like Kate Sith talked about. Leofard. Now that was some excitement, wasn't it, Suicune? Probably a little too much for Rodlia, but we gave her a bed to sleep off the worst of her ordeal. She'll likely be back to her usual cheerful self in no time. Quite a successful jaunt, all told. You and me, we make a pretty good partnership. I'd smile and nod. Then look down at Kate Sith. Kate Sith crosses his arms. Leofard. But I've got words for you, furball. You said that relic would obliterate a void scent completely. Seems to me that foppish fiend just got scorched before he slipped away. Kate Sith. Oh, that? That was scarcely a fraction of the Nullstone's true power. Once I have learned how to unleash its full potential, such demons shall be consumed like gnats caught in a bonfire. Leofard. So you're telling me our secret weapon ain't ready for battle? You might as well be wielding a blunted sword. Kate Sith did not like the sound of that. Kate Sith. Might I remind you that this blunted sword stung our foe sufficiently to free the lady pirate, a result we could not have achieved with your blustering words alone. Leofard shrugs with a big grin on his face. Leofard. Bah! I was ready to flee without Rodlia if a thing took a turn for the worse. He smiles as he crosses his arms. But you're right, you have the presence of mind to take advantage of my bluff, and it was your actions that saved her in the end. Leofard turns and leaves. Cait Sith looks surprised. I just smile and shrug. Freedom for our skies. Leofard. We might be waiting a while before Rodlia finally decides to wake up, but not so long that you've got time to flit away on some other adventure. Come join me in my quarters, and we can ask her a few questions as soon as she's ready to talk. Even though I'm pretty sure we're on a ship, he's got, like, bits of land on his ship. Where's he at? Leofard. Ho there, Suicune. Might as well make yourself comfortable while we wait on Rodlia. Besides, after fighting through them ruins, I'll wager you could use the rest. Cat Sith stands on the table. Rodlia and Stacia appear. Well, Stacia enters the room. Rodlia hesitates for a moment before entering the room. She looks over at the crew. Leofard's sitting in his chair with his feet up on the table. Rodlia. Where's the rest of my crew? Surely there were other survivors. Stacia, with her arms crossed, crosses her head. Shakes her head. Rodlia looks distraught. And bows her head and closes her eyes. Leofard. Tell me, Rodlia, what drove you to risk exploring Old Mach? The compass sent you there, aye. But you were after the Void Ark. You knew something, didn't you? Rodlia. I found a book. We were looting these strange ruins in the Sea of Clouds, and one of the lads dug up a tome. It had passages that described the Void Ark, and a powerful relic called the Null Stone. Cait Sith closes his eyes for a moment. Cait Sith. A tome scribed by Maquis sorcerer, mayhap? Captain, would you happen to know the author of this work? Rodlia shakes her head. Rodlia. The words are muddled by obscuring magics, and 1,500 years have faded its pages. There is much that remains illegible, but what little my darling cutthroats and I could decipher suggests it was written by a mage of exceptional status. Oh, she throws the book on the table. Might want to be gentle with that thing. The thing's 1,500 years old. See for yourself. If what the book says is true, the Ark is a source of immeasurable power. With that ship under my command and the mysteries of Mach in my possession, I had thought to crown myself Queen of the Skies. And this is why we didn't ask for pirate help. And look how well that turned out. What a manner of sky pirate. Oh, what manner of sky pirate? What manner of queen can't even keep her own crew alive? Yeah, all your guys are dead. Cait Sith. Ahem. Rodlia, is it not? Would I be correct in assuming that you seek revenge against the Voidsent who slaughtered your comrades? Rodlia pounds her fist on the table, shocking everybody. She looks furious. Rodlia. Of course I want revenge. The hell-spawned shite gobbler killed my crew. If he were here right now, I'd gouge out his eyes and choke him to death with my bare, bloody hands. Got it. All right. Cait Sith. You are not alone in your desire to bring an end to these abominations, Captain. Will you not join us in our endeavor to secure peace for the skies? Will you not join the Talon strength to ours? Leofard looks a little surprised, but he looks at Rodlia pointedly. He just kind of shrugs his head a bit with the smile twitching at the corners of his mouth. Rodlia, what strength. The way things are right now, I doubt I could keep the peace in a monastery. This has naught to do with personal grudges either. I just don't have the men. All my best fighters died in the ruins, and the dregs that are left are scarce sharp enough to be called talons. Oh, so she's got a few people left. Leofard looks at the sky for a moment. Leofard, did you leave your spine back in them ruins, Rodlia? You've had your wings clipped, and no mistake. But that's no reason to give up the life. I thought we'd rescued a sky pirate, not some cur that turns tail when her pack ain't there to bite for her. That pissed her off. But her expression softens. Rodlia, I know what you're trying to do, Red Bill, but I've lost my taste for glory. You can have the cursed book. Just be sure to make that bastard pay. She turns and storms out. Aw. I mean, she's grieving. Leofard. Hey, Furball. How quickly do you think you can decipher that ratty old tome? I need you to figure out exactly how your relic works. You sent that one fiend squealing in fear, but that ain't enough. From what you've told me, we'll need to aim for some of that obliterating if we're going to take on the Shadow Queen. Cait Sith nods. The rest of you put everything you've got into what you do best, be that research or blade work. Overdoing it is doing it just right, if you get my meaning. So overdoing it is doing it just right. Leofard looks at me and nods, and I nod in return. And we all leave. He still has his feet up on the table. With his hands rested over his stomach, as he looks thoughtfully towards the camera. Leofard, I'll decorate my walls with voice-sent heads if I have to. The sky should belong to no one. And the camera pans over to the picture of the lady with long flowing black hair. I'm sure that was a love of his at some point. Oh, there's that bat. We are at the ruins, I think. And the bat is flying off. The bat turned into a giant black ball. And urinated a whole bunch of dark energy out of it. Is that Diablos? I think that's Diablos. Oh hey, it's that guy whose ass we kicked. With the staff. Diablos. The Nullstone hath fallen into mortal hands. Ferdiad. A thousand apologies, Lord Diablos. I shall personally wring each and every one of their scrawny necks. Yeah, I'm gonna guess not. Diablos. The time for skulking in shadows hath ended. I am grown weary of these meddling vermin. The power of the Shadow Queen waxeth full. Soon mine ardent desire shall pass from dream into dark reality. Dude really wants to get laid. Diablos flies down somewhere. I guess into the other part of the ruins. Where shadows reign. Stacia. Suicune! Cait Sith just sent me out to find you. You've a proper knack for showing up at just the right time, you know that? I do. Anyway, Cait Sith cracked open that tome what we got from Radlia and has been studying all that Nullstone secrets. He thinks he may be onto something important, not just concerning Diablos and the Shadow Queen, but also the cat himself. Come on back to Perak, and we all can hear what he has to say together. Cait Sith holds up the tome and it glows a bright purple. Cait Sith. As I suspected, this tome was penned by the Maquis sorcerer of superior standing, as well as detailing the methods by which the full power of the Nullstone might be unleashed. Its pages also contain a number of revelations concerning my master, High Void Mage Cessiar. If these histories are to be trusted, then it seems that Cessiar herself was responsible for summoning Diablos. Oh, shit. Leofard's eyes narrow slightly. Stacia, but I thought you said your master was opposed to supporting the war effort. Why would she be the one to call up the bat-winged monster? Cait Sith places the book on the table, and it stops glowing. Cait Sith. Celsior only agreed to the ritual as a means to bring the conflict to an early resolution. From what I can glean from these passages, Diablos was intended as a bluff, a threat that was never to be exercised. You never threatened, like, oh, if you don't do this, I'm going to summon the devil himself. What kind of fucking threat is that? But those arrogant imbeciles ignored my master's carefully laid restrictions and elected to unleash the fiend upon Amdapor. It was when Cessiar moved to protest this act that she was branded a traitor and imprisoned. Everyone looks surprised. Except for me, I look very stoic. Once they had contained the opposition, the Void Mage studied all manner of the outwardly arts at the taloned feet of their new pet. The most dangerous of which was the rite for summoning Skathic, and the method for chaining her power. Yet even after all they had perpetrated, these ambitious fools had the gall to come crawling to Cessiar when the coming of the great floods was predicted. They begged her to take control of the Void Ark for the salvation of the Maquis people. As you saw for yourself, however, the energies of the Shadow Queen broke loose and turned the vessel into a derelict nest of void scent. It seems obvious now that the arts taught by Diablos were deliberately flawed. Makes sense? The only saving grace in all his madness was when that damnable fiend was sealed away by the white mages of Amdapor. I shudder to think what would have happened had he been reunited with his queen. Leofard crosses his arms. Leofard. So now, 1,500 years later, Diablos is looking to finish what he started. I thought the bat-faced bastard was just some opportunistic underling, but it turns out he's the main villain behind this whole mess. Oh, so the bat was Diablos the whole time. Cait Sith. Were Cessiar alive today, she would accept responsibility for unleashing Diablos upon the world. As the High Void Mage's familiar, it is my duty to act in her stead. I have deciphered the secrets of the Nullstone, and with its undiluted power, shall I erase Diablos from existence. I didn't know familiars were that powerful. Leofard. Heh, I like your spirit, puss. But try not to rush into too quickly, eh? Getting yourself killed won't do us, or your master, any good, he says with a smile. Cait Sith nods. Stacia. Wait. No one's rushing in anywhere just yet. Or have you forgotten that we're still in the middle of scouting out the fiend's lair? We've got the compass to go by, aye, but who knows what kind of place it'll lead us to or how many demons will be lying in wait. When we get there, we fly in with our eyes open or risk getting slaughtered just like the Talons. Cait Sith. Oh yes, speaking of which, the tome made mention of a potential location for... Leofard rushes towards the door, towards the noise. Stacia holds out her hand to stop him, but he just rushes right past her. Cait Sith looks at us and nods, and we rush after him. Stacia looks in shock. She looks up, and Leofard got thrown his ass to the ground from from high up somehow. Leofard! She runs over to him and kneels down to inspect him. He's moving. Leofard. Ouch! He's behind you! Cait said, Nah, curse you, fiend! Oh, Diablos is here. I think. Nope. Wait, yeah, that's Diablos. I take out my awesome staff. Diablos. At last. At long last. Don't know what long last for. Cait said, This is far from over, demon. We'll not allow an abomination like the Shadow Queen to rule this world. Diablos. Then thou knowest not of ruling. It is might which decideth dominion. Cait Sith glares at him. Diablos. But believe what thou mayest, frail creature. You are playthings. Your screams of denial shall amuse me as I send this rock and all upon it to shatter upon the ground below. I guess he has something that he came for. I don't know what it is, though. I'm still holding out my staff, doing absolutely nothing while he powers up. Oh, finally someone did something. He got shot in the face. Oh, there's a ship. Oh, there's a bunch of ships. Did a ship shoot him in the face? I thought Leofard took out his gun and shot him in the face like a Chad. Who is that? Oh, it's Rodlia. She's holding her pipe and she's standing there like a bamf. She's like, yeah, I shot you in the face. What are you gonna do about it? Stacia. Gods, is that Rodlia? Where's she been hiding it? Where's she been hiding that ship? Oh, where's she been hiding that ship? Yeah, it's a pretty big ship. Diablos. I would not tire my arm with the swatting of so many flies. The Nullstone is mine, and there is yet much to be done. Oh, he got the Nullstone, okay. He just fucks right off. He opens up a portal and goes through and disappears. Well, fuck. Leofard looks at Ralia standing on her ship with a little cocky smile. She's probably like, you're not the only one who can act. Leofard. Well, ain't I a lucky sod? 2 demons in one day. Found some new dogs to lick your boots, Rodlia? Rodlia laughs. Rodlia. Is that any way to welcome me back into the life? You needed allies, and persuading our reluctant fellows to join in common purpose is a feat only a woman of my charming beauty could accomplish. And besides, you look too injured to be of much use to anyone. You'd best take to your bed, old man, and let me and your champion there take care of the void scent. Leofard shakes his head as he holds his left shoulder. Leofard. What? So you can tuck tail and run again at the first sign of trouble? You'd not even be standing there if it weren't for me. And even with me arm busted up, I'm still twice the pirate you are. Kate Sith just kind of stands there stupidly. Kate Sith. Nay, I think you should stay behind this time, Leofard. We must pursue Diablos without you. Time is of the essence, and we cannot afford to wait for you to heal. We must take advantage of Captain Rodlia's reinforcements and proceed with all haste. Leofard. Did the demon drop you on your head, Furball? Without me there to run things, you'll just end up getting in Suicune's way. And no one's making haste anywhere until we know what we're flying into. Kate Sith. Kate Sith crosses his arms. Again, Captain Rodlia may hold the answer to that dilemma. I suspect that the island where she uncovered the Maki Tome is the very location where Diablos has chosen to lair. The floating marvel I speak of is not a natural occurrence. It was constructed as a haven for refugees of the floods. The tome makes very clear reference to the island's purpose, and describes in detail the void-sent sorcery employed in its creation. As the Void Ark never arrived at its destination, however, the island remained uninhabited. I can imagine no more suitable hideaway for our scheming fiend. Even better, Diablos will not expect us to suddenly arrive on his secluded doorstep. The Talon fleet will carve us a path through the lesser fiends, and we shall strike swiftly into the heart of the confusion to seize the Nullstone. Once the relic is secured, I will use its power to obliterate our devilish foe. As a sky pirate, surely you understand how such an assault relies on speed and surprise. We cannot have a wounded companion slow us down, and potentially doom the entire enterprise. Leofard doesn't really look happy about that. Leofard. So, you think you're in charge now, do you, puss? Poor broken Leofard's just some dead weight you need to cut away. You know what? I've had a belly full of your mulin in any case. Go on, fly off without me, and see how far you get without your thrice-damned enterprise. Kate Sith just nods. Kate Sith. Captain Rodlia, compare the direction indicated by the ectocompass with your navigational records, if you please. I think we'll find the coordinates coincide with the island in question. Rodlia. Certainly. And feel free to board our flagship when you're set to depart. My darling's large enough to accommodate your adventurer and her fellows with room to spare. Dun Scaith now accessible. The Shadow of Mac, Dun Scaith. You're high above the clouds. There's floating rocks. Get a sweeping shot of a deck of a ship. It's made of wood. And there we are. Next to flying next to one of the flying things. I don't know what I got killed by, but I know. But I want to go to the starting point. Hear my command. Ah, I fell off the ship. Shit. No, the fucker pushed me off. Well, I did say it was my first time. Oh my gosh, I'm dead again. Oh, come on, I got thrown off the ship again. This fight sucks. This way? I assume I'm going where everyone was. Am I not? So I don't see anybody, so I hope I'm going the right way. I think there's only one way. Oh, now we're already in a fight. Great. What's that? Again, a ship the size of a freaking city. Oh, fuck. I got murdered. I'm getting bigger explosions. Stop it. Polo Ultima. It's like a centaur looking thing. Except if the centaur was also Goldar from Palpatine. That's basically it. I did get blasted by Elvis. About 15 seconds to supernova. I think someone used their limit break. Not sure if they really needed to, but... Haha, OBs go boom. It is a very pretty butterfly. I think it's a butterfly chair. Yep, butterfly chair. And some heart-shaped glass, like glass-stained windows came down, it looks like. I begin with the mostly naked chick, but this one is actually very white pale. Face hands to stop them from coming at you. We have cutscene. Face hands to stop them from coming at you. So yeah, she basically, the way her hair looks and stuff, she's got like curly pigtails and very, very white, like straight up vampire white. And of course, mostly spamming heal and hope everything works out okay. Oh, fuck, yeah. Sucks is most of my MP is gone. What the fuck is this? I had something underneath my feet that was following me. Oh god! What the fuck? He was chasing me. From a chrysalis of light I shall birth the deepest shadow. That's very pretty, though. Not gonna lie. Yeah, she's in basically another stained glass chrysalis. That's pink. It's actually very pretty. Accept my touch and bask in tenderest brilliance. Or I could not do that. I don't know if standing in that was good or not. People looked like I was supposed to stand it, and they kind of didn't. the Shadow Queen doth fall. Yes, such skill and strength. I commend you your victory. Yes, such skill and strength are deserving of the more... such... Damn it, stop moving. Are we still in a fight? Oh, fuck, I think that's going to fight. The true Master of Shadows will do. We are fighting Diablos. So I guess we killed his queen or whatever that chick was. I was looking at the eye. Exploded on my head. Diablo opened up a door. Life gate. Bow before the shrieking majesty of the void. Killed it. What have you done? Killed the door. So be it, a contest of strength then. I mean, it's just the door, as far as I can tell, is not even hurting us, so we're just kicking the shit out of the door. Impossible! I am Lord of the Void. You cannot. So we beat up a door. So that was very impressive. Mine imprisonment weakened me more than I thought. Sure, but you have not bested me yet. Witness now my true purpose. We're seeking the Queen's rebirth. It's like, I guess, the reason he wanted it. He pooped into a ball of dark red energy. And is kicking our ass. Yeah. Shadow itself be mine armor. Oh, shit. I'm trying to res people. There's so many people dying. Away, so I'm taking full of them. Again, I don't know if I'm actually supposed to stand in that. I'm all away from it. Depths of shadow we shall rise, your reunion. Ouch, so much pain. What's done is done. Done is dealing. I think Diablo's dead. Yep. He poops in a puff of red smoke and dissipates into hundreds of bats, which then disappear. The Null Void, or Null Stone, which is now a staff, falls to the ground and lies dormant. Unscathed complete. I look down at the staff that's lying on the ground. Kate Sith. Do not relax your guard yet, Suicune. The air is still heavy with his foul presence. The ship arrives with Radlia. Oh, there's a bat. I see a bat. Radlia. Already taken care of the fiend, have you? And you didn't even need that dusty old relic to do it. Stacia shrugs. Radlia shrugs. Radlia walks over to the staff and kneels down to pick it up. Kate said, "Be careful, Captain. Diablos yet lurks in the shadows." Speak of the devil. Literally. Diablo sweeps down and knocks the fuck out of Radlia. And steals the staff. Stacia looks shocked. I run over to Diablos, but he throws a giant fireball in my face. And Kate Sith is burnt to a crisp. Diablos. Finally have I claimed the Shadow Queen's power for mine own. Yet still am I harried by you noisome weevils. So he basically brought her back. This way he could kill her, essentially. I think. And steal her power. I must needs quit this realm for a time. And when I have grown accustomed to my newfound might, there shall be a reckoning for you for your insolence. Grrr. Kate said stone? He just looks like a crisp to me. Familiar voice. This ain't the time for napping for... Oh, that's gonna be Leofard. This ain't the time for napping, furball. You've still got a job to do. Kate Sith weakly looks up at Leofard as he approaches with the ship. Everyone looks shocked. He flies at Diablo straight on. Barely misses, just skewering him in the chest, but he knocked the staff out of Diablos' hand. I run over to go get it. Leofard jumps out of his ship and shoots at Diablos, but Diablos blocks it with his wings and shoots an energy at Leofard, who then falls to the ground. I throw the staff at Kate Sith. Kate Sith weakly gets to his feet. Kate Sith. Aye, my work here is unfinished. In Sasir's name, I unmake thee, Diablos. My master's will be done. Kate Sith powers up the staff, pulls back, and fires. A bright purple beam shoots out from the staff, hitting Diablos, who tries to block it with his wings. But Kate Sith uses full power, and the beam gets huge as it blasts Diablos. Diablos. Ah! For 15 centuries have I yearned for this power. Thou canst not unmake me. No! No! The light fades. Everyone was shielding their eyes, and they slowly lower their hands. Kate Sith collapses and gasps as he lays on the ground. The staff is no longer glowing. I smile as I look at him. It looks like a ship is on fire. Leofard looks at it as he lays on his back on the ground. Stacia walks over to him. Stacia, I should have known we were wasting our breath. The captain only heeds the siren in his heart, and damn the consequences. Leofard. I told you you'd be lost without me, didn't I? He winces with pain as he looks at Kate Sith. His goggles are broken. Leofard. And look at you, puss. Getting knocked out cold in your moment of glory. You weren't like to get another chance to honor your master's memory, and you almost missed it. But I suppose you pulled through at the last. Aye, I'll give you that much. He smiles. I look down at him sadly. Then look into the sky. It looks like a statue's holding a Pokeball. There's a big ship ahead above us. Oh hey, Leofard's alive. Leofard, spare me your concerns and your lectures. You all knew I wasn't like to stay abed with such a grand adventure in the making, and I'd rather break every bone in my body than be stripped of the freedom to go where I please. Besides, all's well that ends well, eh? Diablos is dead, and we're all alive. That counts as a victory in my book. It's just a pity that it cost me the Ramil in the doing of it. I hope she rests easy on that island refuge. A Red Bill farewell. Leofard's holding his left shoulder still. He shakes his head. Still wearing his broken goggles. Bah! The goggles are a mess. But I can always get me a new pair of goggles. And a new airship. I suppose we should be glad we didn't lose aught else after diving headlong into a void-sent nest. Rodleo has her hands on her hips and beams brightly. Rodleo, now that we've taken the skies back, it's time we were taking our leave. The Talons and the Red Bills can kiss their brief alliance farewell. Unless, of course, you're interested in a more permanent arrangement. Leofard, your bootlickers might think your voice a siren song, but it grates on me ears like a harpy screech. No, this is the first and last time we fly together. We're back to being rivals, the way it's always been. Rodleo points at him. Rodleo, you're a very stubborn man, Red Bill, but you do well to remember I always get what I want in the end. You two should just go fuck already. Seriously. Kate Sith looks down at the floor. Leofard, head back to my quarters and see to the furball's hurts. I'll be along in a bit. Stacia nods. We leave. Kate Sith, I feel so foolish, Suicune. I demanded that Leofard remain behind, only to have him rescue my mission from certain failure. A failure that would have been made mock of your heroic efforts as well. I shake my head. You are too kind. What words exist that can properly express my contribution? I know not how to even begin making my apologies. I should like to approach the captain, but he has an air of a man who seeks solitude. 'Tis strange to see him so melancholy. Could it be the loss of the Ramil which troubles him so? Nay, I shan't intrude upon his contemplation with clumsy questions and trite platitudes. Let us leave him be for the moment. Kate Sith. Mistress Stacia, if I might ask you a question, do you know the cause of the captain's melancholy? Is it because of the Ramil? Pray tell me if it is so. I cannot help but feel responsible for the vessel's destruction, and I would better understand Leofard's present distress. Stacia. If you really want to understand, I suppose I should start with how the captain was orphaned as a child. As matters turned out, he was taken in by a highborn widow who raised him as her son. From what Leofard has told me, his adoptive mother was a kind, quiet-spoken woman, but due to some illness or other, she was rarely able to venture outside. Instead, she spent hours reading to help her boy from a library well stocked with books from faraway lands. Leofard cared for her as her malady grew worse by the day, and he was there by her side when her death finally carried her away to Thal's halls. She looks at the picture that's been hanging on the wall, the one with the long flowing black hair. While she was alive, she never did ask much of him. Not long before she passed on, however, she wrung from him one single promise, that he escape the conformity she had always endured, and live his life as free as a bird. As you've likely guessed, her name was Ramil, that her portrait there hanging on the wall. Quetzal. This explains much. I had wondered as to the origin of his vessel's naming. Stacia. The Sky Pirate way is the life Leofard chose for himself, but I like to think he named his ship the Ramil, so that his mother would be there to watch over all of his adventures. Leofard walks in the room. Leofard. Since when were you so loose-lipped about a commander's private pass, Stacia? Uh-oh. He looks kind of pissed. Leofard. I ain't in the habit of leaning on people's sympathies, so you can all keep that tidbit to yourselves, eh? And I thought I told you to see to the furball's wounds. Look at your cape, puss. It's in tatters. Come here a moment. Kate Sith walks over to him. Kate Sith. A scarf? For me? Leofard. Aye. That's a little present we give to every new Red Bill. Ramil taught me that it's not protecting memories that's important. It's having the strength to follow your path and make those memories in the first place. Seeing how determined you were to clear your master's slate, I'd say you'd fit right in with our crew. Listen, if you're thinking that my little airship meant a lot to me, then you'd be right. But I'd rather mourn a hunk of metal than lose them as can share. But I'd rather mourn a hunk of metal than lose them as can share in me highs and lows. So let's get this straight, puss. There's no need for apologies. A Sky Pirate makes his choice and he sticks by it. Leofard smiles brightly. Kate Sith. The life of a Sky Pirate, huh? As I seem to be bereft of both place and purpose now, I suppose I shall accept your offer. I am yours to command, Captain. Leofard. Glad to hear it. Your first duty is to join us in giving our adventurer here a proper send-off. Stacia. Well, it is about bloody time you two saw eye to eye. But honestly, Captain, you don't mean to head out in those rags, do you? Let us get you cleaned up as well before we say our fond farewells. Leofard looks at his burnt-ass clothing. He just shrugs, like, what? I guess. We see another shot of the painting on the wall. Leofard. It's time we parted ways, Suicune. Let's give you an escort down to Coldwind. We see a nice bright blue sky, and I'm standing on some kind of ground. And Leofard is got new goggles on, still with red lenses, and he is sitting on a little airship. Leofard. That was some adventure, Suicune, but our journey into the unknown is over. I smile. For the now. I look a bit surprised. When the sky split out some new mystery, you can bet that I'm coming to find you. After all, there ain't nobody else who handles the unexpected quite like you do. High adventure and the heady rush of danger. Surely in this life there is no greater reward. He smiles brightly. Stacia just shrugs. Utata cheers. Cait Sith crosses his arms, and I nod as I smile. And they fly off. I got a Red Bill scarf. Cool. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been added.